Hi guys, this is Hiro. How's everyone doing today? Ajibada Kimcho. Ad sub Keseho. So today I'm discussing my 1 year mark without social media. Okay. So I made a video, in case you guys didn't know, at my 6 month mark. Hey, but there's different effects from 6 months versus 1 year. And so right now I'm at 1 year. I deleted social media the week before Thanksgiving last year. Okay? I don't remember the exact date, and I think it was like different days. I deleted different apps, but it was like within 3 days before they were all deleted, um, and it's approaching that time right now. So the Thanksgiving is in about 5 days. It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So um, I decided, okay, I'm gonna make the 1 year video now because there are completely strong and different effects at the 6 month mark versus the 1 year mark, which I anticipated. Why? Because there's certain immediate effects, right? Like, okay, you stop using your phone, you have more free time, blah, 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 etc. However, social media, it's traumatizing your brain every day. And as we know, trauma takes a little bit of while to recover from. Most of us don't view it as trauma because the society has normalized it. But in my head, it is. You're being traumatized every time you look at social media, especially when the rate and frequency at which you're looking at it over time, it's definitely traumatizing your brain, which can take some months to adapt from and get your brain moving in like a normal path. Okay, so I discussed more the beginning of my journey in the 6 month video and the exact specifications, but I'll extremely quickly recap it just to make this 1 year video as clear and coherent as possible. So I deleted a few apps off my phone. Okay, there were Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Yes, I said YouTube. All these videos you see, I don't have YouTube on my phone. They're being recorded from somebody else's phone, okay? And throughout the first 6 months, I never looked at Twitter again. I checked Snapchat and Facebook once a month. Facebook from the computer, and Snapchat I would just download just to see if anybody was trying to get in touch with me, because some people don't have my phone number, and I'll just delete it immediately if I noticed somebody didn't message me. But usually every other time I would say there was someone who did reach out to me, so it was actually good that I checked it. And Instagram I checked once a week on the computer, okay, which I thought was healthy. And why? Because the computer, the UI, it's a lot less addicting, okay, which they'll probably change if too many people form this habit. But luckily for me, I even broke out from that habit, which I'll discuss in a second. But for the first 6 months, that's how my journey was, okay? Now, before I move on into the other outside effects, how this has affected my life outside of social media, let me just say, okay, throughout the next 6 months, how was my usage on social media and things like that? So Snapchat and Facebook, these were the things I was checking about once a month. I think in the past 6 months, I checked them about once, okay? And I immediately closed them, like as soon as I opened them, okay? And I really wouldn't mind not checking them ever again, to be honest, okay? Twitter, I haven't checked. So I literally haven't checked in like a year. And Instagram, I checked about once a month, okay? But I'm at the point now where all these applications, all these social media applications, I can delete the accounts now and I wouldn't really care, okay? At the 6 month mark, yeah, I was still slightly tapped into that zone still, okay? Even though they weren't on my phone, it was benefiting me greatly and all this kind of stuff, I wasn't quite comfortable enough to delete them. Now I'm at the point where I'm comfortable enough to delete them. However, I have not deleted them yet. Why haven't I? I don't know. Maybe it's like a subconscious fear or something like that, just in case I need them, whatever. However, it isn't affecting my life because I don't use them as much. And I feel absolutely zero craving to go back. You could say it is occupying some spiritual baggage and space in the back of my head that if I were to have delete the accounts, I'd be, fully releasing it and things like that. You could make that. Maybe I'll be ready for that in the next video, which is maybe my 2 year mark without social media, okay? But for right now, that's where I'm at directly with social media, okay? I'm at the point now where I'm telling myself, yeah, I can really delete it and it'd be fine, okay? And like I said, in my 6 month video, I was taking baby steps. So maybe with this, baby steps would be like, maybe possibly deleting Twitter first. I literally haven't checked it in a year, okay? So maybe I'll just delete that, see how it sits. And then if I get enough confidence, okay, I'll move on to the other ones. The other ones are a little tough because like Facebook, I use it with like family in India. Like I have a lot of family in India on there. Okay, like I was using it before that, and then like same thing, Snapchat. There's certain people on those three applications: Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, where like that's the only way I'd ever get in contact with these people again. Okay, so it's a little bit of a big deal, but like I said, eventually I'm gonna take the step. I just don't know when, but like I could definitely like not use them like for the whole 2023, and I think I'd be okay. Maybe I could just check them like once or something, just to like out of curiosity, like just to make sure no one DM'd me. I mainly only check these for private messages, like in case someone is really trying to reach out to me or something like that. Okay. Now moving on, the effects that this has been in my life. So you could watch for the more effects for the first 6 months. You could watch my 6-month video. But the general theme here is that in the first 6 months, I had a lot of free time on my hands. Okay, because I wasn't checking social media, so I was doing a lot of stuff. In the most recent 6 months, so from the 6-month mark to the year, a lot of the mental patterns started changing, which in effect affected my life, which I'm about to tell you now. The main thing is discipline. Okay? I noticed, this was part of what started me on my journey, that my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation were way more disciplined than my generation as a whole. And the reason for that I hypothesized, was because of the amount of technology and things like that we have at our disposal. The phone, everything, it uses up a lot of spiritual and mental energy, okay? And when you do that, you don't have the spiritual and mental energy to do the things that you need to be disciplined in. So that slowly started to take effect throughout the first 6 months. However, the most recent 6 months, it's built up so much more. And because I've kind of adjusted and adapted, my mental or spiritual wiring or whatever you want to call it, I've been able to be very observant and push my emotions to the side and really get done some of the things I need to get done. I'll give you an example. My weight right now is at about 200 pounds. Last year, it was at 180 pounds, okay? You can convert it into kilograms if you, for those of you who in your country use kilograms. But 200 pounds is quite a bit, okay? It's about 90 kgs, I think. Now, as you can see, I gained a bit of weight, and 200 pounds is pretty heavy. I'm not that fat, okay? I know you can't see my whole body, but I'm not fat, okay? That weight gain only came from very disciplined working out and eating. Especially the first 6 months was mainly working out, okay? My eating was still getting adjusted. But last 6 months, my eating has been the most disciplined it has ever been in a while. And as you can see, my jawline is not that super defined. It's been more defined, like, throughout certain times in high school and college, because I haven't started my cut yet, okay? And just a little quick thing, in working out, we have this thing called bulk and a cut, okay? But this has been my cleanest, like, and most biggest bulk, like, you could say, okay? I'm at, like, the strongest I've ever been, okay? I'm pushing pretty serious numbers in the gym. Anyways, but the point here is that I'm so disciplined that I'm able to go to the gym 6 days a week, do all the workouts I need to, like, not leave early or do anything like that. Like, I'm able to stay there the whole time and not get too caught up in my emotions, because when you work out, certain emotions get expressed, okay? If you don't have the mental and emotional, like, balance and discipline down, you'll leave early, you'll skip days, things like that. But I can't even, like, do that right now. Like, my mental strength is just so high. And part of the reason why is because I haven't been using social media for a year. The most really disciplined thing is every day I buy, cook, and eat whatever I need to eat for that day, okay? And I don't do the protein powder stuff for other reasons I'm not going to get into, okay? But I'll just leave it at that. But I need to be very careful about what I buy at the store, and I like to know exactly what I put in my body, okay? So I'm very careful what I buy at the store. I have to cook everything, and I have to make sure I eat it, right? Because that's also a big thing. So that's kind of like that. But that discipline, I don't believe would have been there if it was not for social media. I mean, deleting all my social medias. Okay. Now you could say, yeah, sure, you're a young male, your testosterone is raising higher, it's approaching its peak soon. Yeah, you could say that, but 200 pounds is quite a lot. Okay. Um, I don't think all this would have just came just on its own or with like mediocre workouts and eating. I think this really required some discipline um, stuff going on here. Okay. So that's like one way that it has affected, but just overall in general, like anything I do, right? Like, dishes. Okay. Before, people don't like doing chores. Okay. My worst chore was the dishes. Okay. Because it's just your emotions get in the way. You just don't want to do them. However, now I'm like, dude, it takes like 10 minutes, maybe 15. Just do it. Just get it out of the way before people start complaining and stuff like that you didn't do the dishes and things like that. So I just do it, even if it's mine, not my dishes. If I go to the sink and I have 10 minutes of free time, I just clean everything. Okay, that to me, like, is huge because I know that's been a big thing. It's like, oh man, I don't want to cook because I don't want to clean afterwards, but I just clean everything because it's not a big deal. It really doesn't take that long. Okay. Like I said, the main thing here has been discipline. You just feel like you just have so much time and energy just to like really do the things you want to do. Okay. I've been learning how to like read Gujarati and Hindi a lot better. Okay. My speaking has been there, but like as far as reading it, I live in the US. I don't need to read it, but that's just been something I've been practicing. Also, my Spanish has gotten a lot better. Okay, I'm like very disciplined and at least dedicating. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy amounts. Okay, you don't need to burn yourself out, but at least in each thing, just putting in a little bit of time every day, and each time adds up. Okay, I practice Gujarati we speak in my house, but I practice Hindi and Spanish every day on Duolingo. Okay, for like the past 6 months. Okay. And I've noticed there's been quite a big difference in both of them. Okay, now Hindi, you could argue that, okay, yeah, sure, I like I live in an Indian household. Maybe that's slowly rubbing off on me. But like no one in my house speaks Spanish except for my brother a little bit. But like that, I can tell like has improved. Like when I'm at the gym and someone's having a conversation with me. Someone's having a conversation with someone in Spanish and they're next to me, I'm able to pick up like definitely a lot more than I used to like before this past year. Okay. But it came from disciplined efforts. Okay. Disciplined efforts every day the energy from that came from me not using social media for a year is what I'm hypothesizing. And there's no way to directly prove it, but this is just my opinion on my own YouTube video. Now, one other thing is that the few things that I started out on, like as far as discipline, they were all result based. What I mean by that, okay, I was working out, get this muscles, I was practicing my languages, and my proficiency in all of them has gotten a lot higher. I'm doing the dishes are done. But there's some things like just because you have certain energies, you don't necessarily get any result from it, okay? But you just like feel better knowing that you have all that disposal of energy and mental strength and discipline to just do certain things throughout the day that nothing necessarily might not come from it, but you're just doing it now just because you can, just because you had the energy to. Before, you're so burnt out, like you don't have the energy to do anything. Oh, and another thing, alcohol. So I pretty much told myself I would stop alcohol when I deleted social media, okay? There's been a couple of times where I drank it at around the 6-month mark, okay? I was just craving the taste. It wasn't even like I was craving the and you got to remember, okay, I'm a young male living in Miami, Florida, and South Florida, which is close to Miami, and Miami is like one of like the biggest party hotspots in the United States. So I grew up around like a certain energy and crowd. But I was mostly just craving the taste, okay, of very certain alcohols. I noticed though, at about the 6 month mark, when I was like, all right, man, I just really need to try it one more time. I couldn't get drunk. Like my body would stop me. Like my mind, soul, whatever. Like it would just be like I'd literally just like usually, you keep drinking, you get more drunk. But like it almost was like the more I drank, the more like my awareness got activated, and it was like, what are you doing? Okay, so I couldn't go beyond like 2 or 3 drinks. I tried it again recently, like within the last week. And I couldn't even go beyond a couple sips. So my point is, my tolerance for that has gotten like exponentially low. Like where, like I said, like I'm a couple sips in, and it's like I can't even do any more. Like my mind is like, dude, what are you doing? Like my awareness it's so weird, because you try to explain this to people and they're like, they don't know what you're talking about. My hypothesis is this: my spiritual awareness has obviously gotten a lot higher over the years. Okay. And because as that's growing, because now my mental strength and discipline and stuff is also getting higher, now like the more and more I do, quote unquote, like things I'm not supposed to, my awareness immediately shows up, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, even like, and like I said, even if it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like if I'm not, like it could be with TV. It could be, let's just say I'm with a friend and they're on their social media. When they're scrolling, it's like, hey, after a little, like, okay, we laugh at a couple funny videos or funny things, but after a few minutes, it's like, hey, man, that's it. Like, look at something else or something like that. Okay. Even TV, I don't start any new shows or movies. I only watch old movies I've already watched, or shows I've already watched, / if something new comes out for a show. But it's very not frequent. It's not like all the time. Like I'm just constantly like rewatching. No, it's not like that. It's just like when I'm really, really craving it. Because like I said, it's only been a year since I've really, really entered the space of like no screens. Or like, I mean, I obviously have to use it for work. Okay. But like no screens for like extra enjoyment is what I mean. Just one thing though, I will say I do watch some YouTube videos, like on the computer every now and then. I don't really have like it's not that much. Okay. It's like really not that much, but I just wanted to throw that out there just to give you guys like an honest, realistic perspective of how this journey could have been. And this journey, it didn't just start within the last year. It's like, I was preparing like for a while before that, from like cycling, turning off my notifications, like doing a whole bunch of things that I discuss more in my 6-month video, okay? Which you can watch that. But I just wanted to say that so that you guys can, take all this information and do whatever you want to do with it. So I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.